So it's been exactly a year since the Tata Altroz was launched in the Indian market, and now it has got itself an update. This is the Tata Altroz iTurbo, and on the face of it, there's not a lot of things that have changed. But if you look closer, there are some small changes that the car has got, and one very big change. Does that change the experience of the Altroz? Well, that's what we're going to find out. Now let's start with the changes on the outside. Well, there aren't any. This version of the Altroz looks exactly like the version of the Altroz that was launched a year ago, and that's not a bad thing at all because the Altroz is a fantastic looking car. Now though, it has this new color option that you see here. It's called Harbor Blue, and I really like it. See, personally, I really like cars in blue color options, but not a lot of automakers get the shade of blue right. This one though is spot on. Other than that, the only change that there is on the iTurbo variant is the fact that there is an iTurbo badge at the bootlet, and that's about it. Well, once you're inside the Tata Altroz, that is where you see the next set of updates, which are far more than what you get on the outside. First and foremost, let's talk about being inside the Tata Altroz. Well, it's a familiar feeling because the design of the Altroz's cabin has remained identical, and that's not a bad thing. The car looks really nice. What's different though is now the cabin has a different color theme going on over here. It's a lot lighter, makes the car feel spacious, airier, and as a result, the cabin feels a lot more premium than before. The other changes include, well, you get a new driving mode in the Tata Altroz iTurbo because the naturally aspirated car offered City and Eco mode. The iTurbo variant offers City and Sport mode, which can be activated through this small button over here behind the gear lever. Other than that, you get this new Express cooling button, which you can activate from here from the aircon controls. And well, it's self-explanatory. It's supposed to express cool the cabin. Being winters in Delhi, well, I haven't really tested that feature, so we'll have to take Tata Motors' word for it. Other changes include this new leatherette seat, and the infotainment system has been updated as well. The big change is the fact that Tata Motors has now brought down the IRA or IRA system from the Tata Nexon, which basically means Tata Altroz has a lot of connected features on offer. This includes the likes of geofencing, live location tracking, remote lock-unlock, and so on. Other than that, what you also get in the iTurbo variant is that you get 2 extra tweeters inside the cabin for better music experience. And lastly, the change that I actually really like is the fact that now the Tata Altroz understands more commands than before. This includes commands in English, Hindi, and also Hinglish. And that's a good touch. Now let's take a quick refresher at how the rear seat experience was. There's nothing changed over here, but to give you an idea of space, I've set the driver's seat as per my height. My height is 5'10", and I have ample space at my disposal. Other than that, I've got ample compartment spaces. I have a rear AC vent, a 12-volt socket, a drop-down armrest, adjustable headrests, and the seating position is really comfortable. Additionally, remember, the Altroz has a flat floor over here, so basically you can have 3 people sitting abreast at the last seat with no problem at all. Now let's come to the big change that the Tata Altroz has got. As the name suggests, the Altroz is now turbocharged. This is a 1.2-litre 3-cylinder petrol engine that, thanks to the power of turbocharging, now makes 110 PS of power and 140 Nm of torque. Now this iTurbo engine is only available in 3 variants of the Altroz: the XT, XZ, and the newly introduced XZ Plus variant. Having said that, you can continue to buy the Altroz with the naturally aspirated petrol engine, but today it's all about the iTurbo engine, so let's get to how this car feels to drive. And it feels fantastic. You see, the strongest point of the Tata Altroz has been the way it drives, and I'm referring to the ride quality in terms of the suspension setup and how pliant the car is in all kinds of driving conditions. Now with the addition of this more powerful engine, the Altroz feels complete. The engine is very refined and the manual gearbox feels a lot more refined than before as well. The entire drivetrain feels smooth, and when combined with the lovely chassis that the car has, you get a very capable hatchback. It doesn't feel particularly sporty in terms of straight line acceleration, but with its high capability around corners and the newfound stronger mid-range, the iTurbo is a fun car to drive. The absence of an automatic gearbox, however, is something that should have been available
right now. Tata says that it's coming, but sometime in the future. There's no optional sunroof too, and that's a miss as well. But that's just nitpicking at this point, given the pricing that Altroz is expected at.
So at the end of the day, the Tata Altroz iTurbo continues to impress and basically fills that gap of having a performance-oriented petrol hatchback that you would want from Tata Motors. All that's left to see is the kind of pricing that this car comes at, but rest assured, given how the pricing strategy of Tata Motors has been over the past few years, the iTurbo will be aggressively priced as well. Having said that, the Altroz continues to be the same car which we already love, and remember, this is a 5-star crash test safety rated car, and that's a very big achievement in itself. All in all, it's a great variant. Let's see what the pricing of the car will be.